Hi, my name is Stephanie Eisenfarner and I'm with MetaStock. Today we're going to talk about OptionScope. We're going to talk about how to load data, how to page, how to sort, how to filter, and the different data available. So the first thing we're going to talk about in OptionScope is how to load instruments starting in the Power Console. So in the Power Console, from the OptionScope tab, you'll see here that we have our tree view. From the OptionScope tab, you're only able to load OptionScope using the base instrument. So we can start by entering in, we'll just start with like Apple, AAPL. .o. You can enter it in up here in the instrument field up at the top, up there. Or you can expand the tree view and expose the instruments that are included. So we're going to expand the index constituents, and we're going to expand the NASDAQ 100. And you'll see that the tree view looks different in the OptionScope tab compared to the others. We don't have the check boxes like we do with the others because you can only select one instrument at a time rather than lists like in the other tabs. Because what it does is it pulls in the various option chains or the option symbols rather than working from a list. So before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about these different filters that you can select before opening up those options. Here you can select or further filter down the options that you open into OptionScope before even selecting your symbol. And that can be done through the expiration date range filter, meaning that you can select to load just the options that expire in the next 7 days, the next 30 days, the next 90 days, and the next 365 days. You can also further filter down the list of options that you get based off a strike price. So you can load the strike price or prices that are within 5% of the strike price, 10%, 15, 20, or 25, or all of them. There's always the option to select all. And then finally, you have the type of expiration filter, the type of expiration, which is either daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So for this example, we're not going to filter it too much. We're going to select all for your strike and your expiration filter type. And we're going to select the options that expire within the next 90 days. And we're going to double click on American Airlines, or actually, let's see if I can't find Apple. There we go. So you can double click and it'll open up Apple, or you can highlight it and select Open OptionScope. So we're going to double click. So here, OptionScope is displayed and it's showing all of the options that are available based off of our filtering type. And we're going to just expand the filters so that you can see them. And all of the options all of the expiration dates that fall within the next 90 days are highlighted. It's an indication of all of the options that fall within those date ranges from the filter options that we selected in the Power Console. So you can very easily change what filtering options you've selected through this console here on the left-hand side. You can clear all your filters by just clicking the button, and that'll clear them all. And then you can just click and filter by simply clicking on the buttons. And then we'll do a 10% strike price. And you can see that it narrows down as you click on the fly the options that are displayed. So your expiration date reflects November 8th, and then your strike price is within 10% of your base instrument's price right there. Another thing that you'll see up here at the very top, up here at your header, is your base symbol is always going to be displayed. The current price, close price of your base instrument for Apple will be displayed, and then the current trade date will be displayed up here at the top. There is another thing, let's talk really quickly about in the money and out of the money. So if you click on in the money, it's going to filter and highlight. Just a moment. So for the call side, it will highlight the call options, blue, that are in the money. And we'll do the same for the puts. So on the call side, your strike price, in order for it to be in the money, will be lower than the base security. And on the put side, the strike price will be higher for it to be in the money. And so those are highlighted blue. And then if we click out of the money, it's essentially out of the money will be highlighted a lighter gray, and it's just the opposite. I'm going to clear my filter again. We'll talk briefly about another data or other data that's offered in our option scope, and that's the Greeks. The Greeks are available both for calls and puts. You can see that they're all up here. Basically, we have all of our Greeks. We have implied volatility, open interest, volume, net change, percent change, last bid and ask, and those same data fields are available for the put side. And at the end of each side, you will have the option symbols. So let's talk a little bit about how you can load, different ways of loading different options data into OptionScope. You can just simply type in the base symbol up to the top and click on Go. And if the stock is optionable, it will retrieve the option data and pull it in. And then you can filter it as you see appropriate. You can also do a symbol search. So if you're not really sure what the symbol is, you can do a symbol search in the standard way, whether you want to do a search by symbol or name or contains, starts with or ends with. And that'll bring it in. So here are all the options for Microsoft. Another thing, the control and the shift key work. So if you want to select when filtering, different, I guess, random expiration dates, or if you want to select a list of expiration dates, you can do that as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to select one expiration date so we can get a smaller list to look at here. And we're going to talk a little bit about sorting. So sorting in, let me just narrow it down just a little bit more with our strike price. So here we have a smaller list, and when to sort, you just simply click onto the column header. So let's sort by bid. When you perform a sort, we'll do that on the bid column. It sorts within the expiration date. So you can see here that it begins with the highest bid for the expiration date, October 11th, and then starts the sorting again for the grouping of the expiration date, October 18th. So sorting is done within the expiration groupings, and that's for any of the data columns available. So next, we're going to talk about paging. So as you know, options, there can be a lot of option symbols for base instruments. And depending on how you sort them or filter them, or if you do no filtering at all, you can have pages and pages of options. So I'm going to clear this filtering, and we're going to let it load all of the options available for Microsoft. And we're going to talk about paging for just a moment. So when we have no filtering set, and we're essentially loading all of the options available from Microsoft. We have 3 pages worth of option symbols. And we can quickly go to page 3 by using the drop-down menu and selecting 3. And we can quickly return to page 1 by using this arrow right here, or page 2 using this one. So let's just go back to page 2. And then obviously you can go back to page 1. Another great feature that we have is that we can now chart options data, and that can be done by just simply double clicking on any of the option symbols. So I'm just going to select this one right here. I'm going to double click onto it, minimize OptionScope, and here's the options data in chart form. And you can easily select multiple options. You can select open selected options in a chart, and that'll allow you to open multiple option charts. In here you have your option charts right here. And this is a really nice option because then you can plot multiple you can plot moving averages on them. You can do additional technical analysis on them. I'm going to show you something else that is really nice. You can highlight a list or a grouping and copy them to the clipboard. You can go back to the Power Console and click on the Custom List button. And create a list of options. And you can run a scan looking for buy and sell on options data. So we'll just do something simple, just like a volume scan. So this is a great new feature, being able to take option symbols and do additional analysis on options data. Really quickly, there's a couple of other ways in which you can open up OptionScope since it's a singular instrument power tool. You can do it from a chart. So here we have IBM. You can right-click on the background of the chart and select OptionScope. And it will load OptionScope and retrieve the options data for that chart. Another way is, again, from our toolbar up at the top. We just have the OptionScope icon. You can click on that and that'll load OptionScope as well. Supported data types are international equities, US futures, international futures, US futures. For MetaStock DC, it's US equities. Now, if you have a delayed account with MetaStock real-time, it will be delayed data. And if you have online, obviously the data will be real-time and streaming. In today's training, we talked about how to open up OptionScope, switching between instruments, filtering, paging, and sorting. If you have any questions, please contact support at metastock.com/customer, and happy trading.